if the Sultan of Morocco has recognized an internal Moorish state, let's say the territory is Wyoming. If the Moors in Wyoming establish an internal Moorish state that pledges allegiance to the Empire of Morocco and the flag of the Empire of Morocco and recognizes His Majesty the Sultan, then the Sultan would turn around and recognize that internal Moorish state and put on the protections of the empire. You see? Okay, so your question is, okay, what happens with that internal Moorish state? How do they start to engage in diplomacy and political reforms with another internal colonial state? Let's say a state of Wyoming, right? So you got the state of Wyoming as the colonial state, and then you got the internal Moorish state. Let's say it's some Moorish ante Wyoming state, but they're Moors. Well, what needs to happen is the Empire of Morocco, His Majesty the Sultan and the Prime Minister or the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Empire of Morocco should be giving notice to the United States federal government that a new internal Moorish state is now governing, administrating over that territory of Wyoming. That's the first thing. You must give notice, right, to the United States of America as to what's going on in Morocco. Now, what happens with the internal Moorish state, let's say it's Ante Wyoming as the name of the Moorish state, at that point, the Sultan, the Prime Minister, will assist the head of government of that internal Moorish state, which is called the Wazir, the office of Wazir of the Moorish state, which means governor. So the governor of that internal Moorish state would get assistance from the Sultan, the Prime Minister, right, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs to assist that internal Moorish state with developing relations and cultivating relations with the colonial state called Wyoming. So in other words, it's a tier process. You got the Empire of Morocco, and then you got the internal Moorish state that will then work with who? United States of America and the internal Wyoming state. You see, so it's like a tier structure. It's four steps. The Empire of Morocco, the internal Moorish state, United States of America and the United States, and then the internal colonial state of Wyoming. Right. So all of them together would have to work on it collectively under what's commonly known as friendly relations among states.